All right, let's go grab our iPhone Air from the Apple Store.
Thank you, sir. How you doing, sir?
How you doing, bro?
Good, good. Thank you.
Tall dude that's bent over the table right now.
Okay. Bag secure, bro. Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Okay, so we're back home now. Thanks to all the Apple Store staff that helped me out today. They were all great. Here we are with the iPhone Air Sky Blue and the iPhone Air bumper case, also in blue. It's basically a $40 piece of plastic around your phone. Very reminiscent of the iPhone 4 bumper case. Let's get these centered. So we've got both the iPhone Air bumper case here, like I said, and the iPhone Air. I like how the box has like that side profile to emphasize how thin it is, and the box is also noticeably thinner. Let's get the box opened up. Same process as last year. You pull these satisfying pull tabs. There's one, and there's two. They're a little bit hard to grab, but we manage. So let's pop the top off this box, and here's the iPhone Air facing screen up this year. First impressions are this thing is so thin, so beautiful, and so light. Apple did a great job with this. But let's put it down for a second and get right back to it. See what else is in the box. You've got your 1 meter Apple charger cable. It's braided and it's USB-C to USB-C. No charger brick, of course. You've got the typical Apple manuals. No one ever reads these. This one does say that you no longer need a SIM card anymore because it's only eSIM for the iPhone Airs. Let's go ahead and put those back. You do have a little cutout here for the plateau where the phone sits, which I found kind of cool. And let's get back to the star of the show, the iPhone Air. First thing you gotta do, peel off that satisfying screen protector, of course. Oh, wow. I mean, that was really satisfying, I'm not gonna lie. While it turns on, I do want to say, like, the first thing you notice about this phone, the videos and the pictures don't do it justice. When you first hold it, I mean, what Apple said about it, when they said it's like just holding content in your hands, it really does feel like that. It feels like you're just holding nothing but screen. The plateau doesn't even really get in the way. As a matter of fact, it helps you kind of rest your fingers in the back to hold it. The matte glass in the back feels so smooth and premium. It really just feels great and looks great in general. Yeah, I mean, I love everything about it so far. Let's go ahead and set it up real quick, though. And do keep in mind, if you want camera control on, you, of course, can turn that on. And once the setup is done, you're good to go. Let's take a look at the iPhone Air bumper before we move on. So this is that $40 piece of plastic. I think some people will like this because it'll add some color to their phone. It is, after all, just like a piece of plastic around the bezel of your phone. Very reminiscent of the iPhone 4. In the box, you only get the bumper. And it's as easy as just grabbing the bumper, lining the buttons up, and then you just set the phone on top of it and push it in. It's not that hard after a few tries. And I mean, it's not terrible. It does, however, make the phone a little bit, just a tiny bit bulkier. And it's not ugly. It kind of looks stylish. It does add that little edge on the side, so it doesn't feel like Apple calls it, a screen in your hand, like just content in your hands. It now feels a little bulkier, and it is a little bit slippier. Like, it just kind of feels like it slips out of your hands a little more. But it's not the worst. I see the appeal. I see why people would like it, but it's not exactly for me. The iPhone Air has a 6.5-inch OLED 120Hz ProMotion display with Ceramic Shield 2, and the refresh rate goes down to as little as 1 Hz in always-on mode. The display also has 3000 nits of brightness and better contrast, as well as an anti-reflective coating, which doesn't seem like it works as well as other competitors in the market, but I've used it outside and it's worked well for me. It is a really beautiful screen. I mean, it's so bright and vibrant. Have a look for yourself and listen to the speaker. This is a single mono speaker, which is not terrible, but it's not the greatest. It's nothing like the Pro at all, but just have a listen. It sounds slightly tinny and small, but it's not the worst. Now, up here on the front, you have that 18 megapixel camera that has that new square sensor, so you can take landscape selfies with your family and friends comfortably without having to turn your phone sideways, just like this. And another cool feature we're getting this year is called dual capture, where you can film yourself as well as whatever you're filming at the same time. You can move that little square of yourself around, but after you save the video, you can't move it anymore. So wherever you put it or wherever you move it is where it'll stay. Now, on the back of the iPhone, the Plateau houses a 48 megapixel Fusion camera that Apple says is 4 lenses in one. But let's be honest, it's just one camera, and it's really, really missing that wide-angle camera, which I use all the time on my Pro. There are just some pictures you can't take without having it, in my opinion, and I'd love to have seen that on a $1,000 phone. And, there's a flasher, of course. You do have the camera control button still on a phone that's 5.64 millimeters thin. That's pretty awesome. And let's also talk about the processor power. So the iPhone Air in the Plateau, which everything's in the Plateau, houses the A19 Pro chip, which is the same chip as the iPhone 17 Pro with 12 gigabytes of RAM, but unlike the Pro, it only has 5 cores for the GPU instead of 6. The CPU does still have 6 cores. And I'm wondering if that's because it doesn't have the vapor chamber for cooling. It does, however, have the new Apple-designed C1X modem, so in areas with weak 5G signals, it does use 30% less energy. Now, for those who are interested, here are some Geekbench scores. My iPhone Air got 3684 for the single core and 9395 for the multi-core score, 38194 for the GPU score, and this was done at around 60% battery. Here's some comparisons, though, between last year and this year. These are from MKBHD. As you can see, the iPhone Air he had a little bit of a lower score for the single and multi. As for the GPU scores, same thing. The GPU score was a little bit lower than the one I had here at 37,844. Now, the Geekbench scores could vary for many reasons. It could have been the iPhone was too hot. It could have been the iPhone was still indexing. It matters when you actually did the test, too. I did it about 2 days after having the iPhone. Still, if you ask me, that Geekbench score is pretty great, and I can't really think of many times Geekbench scores have affected my life and my performance, but it's still pretty cool to see. And as for battery life, the new iPhone Air sports a 3,149 milliamp hour battery. Now, this is the smallest battery capacity this year among all the iPhone models, which I'm going to show here on the screen right now. But the iPhone Air does apparently offer 27 hours of offline video playback and 22 hours of stream video playback on a single charge. Of course, you do have that optional iPhone MagSafe battery pack, which supposedly extends it to 40 hours offline and 35 hours streamed. It's not worrying at all that they made this only for the iPhone Air. It doesn't even fit the Pro or the 17. But, I mean, we'll just see how it goes. In real-world testing, though, it does seem like it's doing good and can last a full day with average usage. But with heavy users like people who are gaming or on social media all day, they'll likely need that midday charge and may benefit from that MagSafe battery pack. Now, you may be wondering, with that plateau, with everything being in the top, is it top heavy? Surprisingly not. Apple balanced it out beautifully. You can easily balance it on one finger, and as you can see, it's balanced on both sides and just feels great in the hand. It truly is remarkable what Apple's done with the iPhone Air. I mean, it's a beautiful phone. It feels great in the hand. But this USB-C port, it's USB 2.0, and it's not 100% centered. Now, when compared to previous iPhone models, the iPhone Air is obviously crazy thin. Here's the first generation iPhone, which came out in 2007. This measured 11.6 millimeters thick. And funny enough, the iPhone Air Plateau, when you measure that, it's not that far off. But two iPhone Airs minus the Plateau are about 11.28 millimeters of stacked. Here's a comparison to the 6S Plus, which was 7.3 millimeters thick on its release. And, this is not that far off, to be honest. And it does it's cool that it doesn't have that crazy plateau. But, who knows? Maybe in the future we'll see phones with no plateau. But both beautiful phones. The Air does take the cake when it comes down to the design, the feel, and everything. We remember how iPhone 6 Bengate was, not the 6S, but the 6. Here's the iPhone XS Max, which measured at 7.7 millimeters thick. This is truly probably one of the most beautiful phones following the Air. And, it's not that much thicker, really. It's such a beautiful phone, this phone right here. I love it. And at the Apple Store, I also took a video comparing some other models. Here is the iPhone 17 Pro Max in orange. And it's honestly beautiful. I didn't think I'd like it so much, but I did like it. And here's the iPhone Air in white. And when comparing them, the Air did feel a lot lighter, obviously. A lot lighter. I'm going to put the weights on the screen here so you see the difference. And they're both great. They feel about the same size, even though I believe the Pro has a little bit of a larger screen. But they're so close, it's kind of crazy. You're just missing 2 cameras on the Air, 2 speakers, and that's really about it. The battery life also. This is a 17 Pro, and this is a 17, which honestly, the 17 seems like the best bang for your buck this year. It's like a 16 Pro with a better processor and a new body, and it has 2 cameras. Now, as for the camera system here, you can't shoot in ProRes RAW, which is kind of unfortunate. It might come out in a new update, who knows? I mean, even in the settings, you can't find anything about it. It can shoot, in all the other modes, but ProRes RAW doesn't exist, unfortunately. Now, the part everyone's been waiting for. This phone is the thinnest iPhone Apple's ever made. Is it durable? Is it strong enough to withstand being in your pocket? Is it strong enough to withstand someone purposely bending it, which most people won't, but this is the part you've all been waiting for. I'm not going to hold back at all. I'm actually going to bend it as hard as I possibly can. And you'll see it might flex a little bit, but as Jerry Rig Everything showed, it took 216 pounds to break it. My hands and most people's hands won't generate that force. All right, there we go. I'm really trying, but as you can see, it bends right back into shape. We can even try it from the screen side. I'm genuinely trying to break it, but I mean, look at that. It's perfectly fine. Screen still works. Phone still opens. And in case you're one of the guys out there or gals out there thinking, why don't you bend it like this? Even then, you literally, that hearing, that the creaking you heard was my watch shaking, because I was shaking. Other side too. Nothing. This phone's a beast. It's amazing, and the titanium frame really helps it. I'm not doing a drop test. You can find that on YouTube for sure, but it's one hell of a phone. As you can see, it's still perfectly straight. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to my good friend who helped make this video possible and help support my new channel. You know who you are, bro. And I hope you all enjoyed this video and it brought you value. If it did, please leave it a like or a comment. Your support is very valued and appreciated. Until next time, please don't forget to subscribe for more and check out my socials for more content and updates. And I wish you a great night or great day whenever you're watching this. Peace.